Declaration of Independence was signed on July 1st. It was only that it got to the general public on July 4th. So enjoy your 4th of July, your false holiday, you fake Americans. This is the portion of the evening where we have a stand-up comic, and tonight we have a very funny man. He was just at the Bridgeport Comedy Festival in Portland, Oregon. He was featured on the funniest podcast comedians, no, the nerdiest podcast comedians you should know special. So help me welcome Paul Cibis.
Hey guys, thank you for that intro. That was amazing. Everything you've ever been told is a lie. Here's comedy. Amazing news, guys. This is unbelievable. You may have already heard this. On the internet, there is a sex tape of Hulk Hogan. I swear to God this is true. I have not seen the Hulk Hogan sex video, nor will I ever see the Hulk Hogan sex video, but I just like to imagine that he calls the woman brother through the whole thing. Makes me happy in here. It means we're living in an amazing age. We live in an age when we can watch former professional wrestlers fuck on our phones. So you're gonna look me in the eyes and tell me the 1950s was better than that? Go fuck yourself. It's the best time ever. Yes, granted, dudes are eating other dudes' faces. But in that dude's defense, everyone knows face meat is the most delicious meat. So I think Anthony Bourdain did a whole episode about that. So this is a great time we're living in. Every other time, garbage. The one thing I am a little bit nostalgic for from my own childhood is the old people, because the old people I grew up with were amazing. You know, those were the old people that ate dirt in the Great Depression. You know, those were the old people that fought in World War II. History just kicked that generation in the balls. It was right in the balls, and they just took it. They just stood there and took it, and it either made them mean as shit, which at the time, not cool, but looking back, hilarious. Nothing more fun than a mean old person. Yeah, he saw his buddies die at Iwo Jima. Of course he's mean. Or if they didn't get mean, they just got haunted. They internalized it. And they always just had this look on their face, like it was all just gonna come pouring out at any minute, even when they were being nice, you know, they'd be like, come here, Sonny, I think I got a butterscotch for you somewhere. You know, in the Ardennes, I strangled a Nazi boy to death with my bare hands. Neither was much older than you, come to think of it. You know, sometimes I wonder if he was just trying to get home to a pretty wife like me with your Grammy. Well, I suppose I'll never know the answer, so, question will haunt me to my grave. Oh, here we go, butterscotch for my favorite grandson. You run along now, play with your friends. Pray you never have to see the things that I've seen. Those were the best old people. They were great. There was no therapy. There was no Prozac. My grandfather was manic depressive his entire life. You know how they treated that? Model trains. It's absolutely true. A doctor, a guy that went to college and medical school, told my grandfather, yeah, you know, you get the crazies, you get the sads, just set up the choo-choos. Watch them go around and around. It'll even you right out. Led to a lot of very weird moments growing up where it was like, yeah, Papa's been in the basement with the trains for like 4 days. We don't know what's going on. Either he's hung himself or he's running for president again. We don't know. You're gonna have to go down there and find out. You're either gonna find your grandfather dead or you will be his vice presidential nominee. So, we'll see what happens. I was not raised religious. I'm not really religious now, never been religious. And I think at this point, I'm probably never going to be religious. Because I feel like at this point in my life, religion is just one more TV show that people keep telling me about. Yeah, but that I am way too far behind to ever catch up on. Like, at this point in my life, religion is just Game of Thrones. They're the same thing. You know, I know people who are like, oh, Christianity is great. You would love it. You should get into Christianity. And I'm like, I've seen a couple of things. No, you got it from the beginning. You got to go from the beginning. All the way through. That's, I don't know, how many seasons is that? 2012. They're all great. You knock it out in a weekend. I'm not religious. I also don't own a gun. I don't know how those things are connected, but somehow in my head they are. I don't own a gun, mostly because I do not trust myself to own a gun. And I mean that on a couple of different levels. One level is, I don't want to bum anybody out, but the cliche of the sad clown exists for a reason. Let's just put that out there. All right? If I was a happy person, I would not be here right now, seeking validation from a room full of faceless strangers. That's just how it goes. So maybe I just shouldn't have that around. You know, it's like if you have an eating disorder or food issues, maybe you shouldn't have a freshly baked birthday cake in your house at all times. You know, even if you keep that cake in a shoebox on the top shelf of your closet, and you haven't even put the candles in it yet. You know, it's there. It's too easy. You have a bad day, you come home, you pull that box down, you shove that cake into your face as far as it'll go. You bite down hard, and you just ride that chocolate frosting straight to hell, you know? It's too easy. That's what I say. But that's only like 15% of why I don't own a gun. The other 85%, that's right, I'm really bad at math. The other 85% of why I don't own a gun is because I know at some point I will be in the mirror trying to do like some kind of Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, like RoboCop thing. And best case scenario, I shoot myself in the balls. Best case scenario. There's a phrase, it's kind of a common phrase that I'm sure we've all heard, and I know you guys know it. You're telling me we can put a man on the moon, but we can't blah, 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 blah. We have to stop saying that phrase, because we cannot put a man on the moon anymore. The last time we put a man on the moon, all right, last time was Apollo 17 in 1972, 40 years ago. You know how long ago that was? Cigarettes were still good for you. NASA had to apologize to the astronauts that they couldn't smoke in the ship on the way to the moon. They're like, sorry, we haven't worked that out yet. All right? So we need to change that phrase. We need to make it something we can do and that we're really good at. We need to make that phrase something like, you mean to tell me that we can make a taco shell out of a Dorito? But we can't something? Or like, you mean to tell me that we can put cheese in the crust of a pizza, but we can't, etc., etc.? Because that's all we're good at these days as a country. It's just we can send flavors where no flavors have gone before. And that is my time. Thank you guys very much. My name is Paul Cibis.